Okay, so when it comes to handles, I don't know if you've ever heard of handles or a handler, or when it comes to celebrities, there's certain celebrities that reach and peak, and they're hitting their stardom and their fame, and then these people come in that are well aware more energetically of how this whole reality works. And anything that you have, your vices, anything like smoking, drinking, drugs, anything to do with the sacral, like sexual energy and stuff like that, anything that you become codependent on based off of the fact that you haven't done maybe some of your shadow work or something like that, you haven't healed from certain past traumas, okay, they will use these handles as like you're some sort of pet, as if you are some sort of thing to be used for your energetic source. When you're vibrating high, when you're illuminated, you're just literally giving off your own glow or your own shine or your own light. There's people that want that. There's people that want that energy, and they will take advantage of it. They will use it for whatever gain, like whether it be money or something like that, or whatever they can get out of you. But I mean, most of them can be kind. Some handles, some people that are handlers are kind, but some of them are not so much. And if they find that you are anyway straying from them, as a leash or a collar would, they will tug at your triggers. They will tug at your handles. And these are things that you've become codependent on in order to not feel pain from certain traumas. So if you haven't healed from that and you're codependent on something, they will use those handles against you. And confidence is another one as well. If you've been groomed, if you've been beaten down, or you've believed for your whole life that you have to give of yourself in order to get anything in return, like your body or something like that, or you have to feel a certain way about yourself and stay at a lower state, whatever has been programmed into you, they can even use confidence as a handle against you, which is messed up if you think about it. But ultimately, it is fact, it's actuality. People are doing this on a regular basis to other people that are not fully awake and fully aware of either their own talents, gifts, and abilities, or the way reality and energy works, and the way we can manifest and do certain things with those energies. And it's a shame that some people that acknowledge all this and are fully aware, and they're very intelligent, and they realize that their past traumas are an issue, or that they can use that against another person, but they continue to do it anyways because they're gaining something from it. That is not okay. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're watching this video and you know that somebody else around you is not fully awake and aware, and you're not sharing with them the information and the knowledge and the wisdom, which is power, you're purposely holding that back from them and not explaining anything to them or helping them out, you are doing exactly what the people that consider themselves to be elite, that got up to the top, that are also grown children, that have traumas, that have been hurt and stuff, that are pulling the strings and controlling the rest of the general population of the entire earth. You are doing exactly what they're doing because it's been taught, it's a thing, and it is a negative cycle. The lesson needs to be learned there, which is we're supposed to all work together as a community to vibrate and lift each other up and elevate together as we learn the lessons as we go through this reality, this life of ours, okay? And because they've stunted that out of their own fear, because they're afraid of their own shadow, their dark side of the moon, whatever you want to call it, they took one look and they ran the other way because of their traumas and the things that they're triggered by. Yet they have the knowledge and the wisdom, and they're very intelligent. They're using it for the wrong reasons. What do they say? With great power comes great responsibility, or something like that. Well, it goes the same with knowledge. If we're not sharing it and we're hoarding it and not helping our fellow person, regardless of whether or not we think they deserve it, most people that are karmic and not fully awake and aware, and that are going around fucking with other people or hurting other people, just your regular old Joe, or a person that you work with or something like that, that gives you a hard time, they're probably struggling to comprehend and understand this reality because nobody's fucking explained it to them. Nobody's given them any heads up. Nobody's taught them anything like that. And so they're fighting. They're literally battling themselves, one, and they're battling the people around them because they can't understand it. And then if you're more aware and then you run into them and you're just being completely judgmental in the fact that, oh, this person's crazy, or that person, you know, they're going to be one of the ones that, you know, shoot up the place or something like that. You know, it's very ignorant of you, especially if you're knowing full well of how certain things work and you're not taking the time to show that compassion or that empathy to another person, or you're using it against them, especially if you took in their voice, if you took their confidence, if you stripped them from any thoughts that they could become anything more than your little stepping stool. And only like encouraging them or breadcrumbing them to a certain level, but if they start going too much forward from that you kind of yank on their leash like a fucking handler. You're treating them like an animal, like a pet, and you're using them for whatever your gain is. That's not okay. And I'm sure somebody's probably done that to you. That's where you learned it. And if you learned really quickly, then you decided to integrate that into your own life. And instead of learning the lesson from that, you're just recreating the cycle. And it's not a good thing to do, because currently, if you see the state of the world right now, things are starting to balance out because things have been out of whack for way too long. And I don't want to pick on just the men, but the whole idea of the patriarchy and the brotherhood of men and all this stuff, and them sharing certain knowledge with each other and not with maybe the opposite sex. Which, by the way, they got the DNA and the information through their mother's tit. Okay? There's a reason. Orange, sacral, creativity, why they would put that. The whole idea of the gator. What is it? The hunter of the hook. The hook is what like hooks you in from another person. And it's usually based off of whatever your vices are too. It could be mainly sexual, but it can be other things you're addicted to in order to cope. In order to, you become codependent, so it can be a hook. Right? If you've been traumatized as a child, and then you meet another person that's traumatized, and you come together, then it's a codependency because you're trauma bonding. Oh, you've been hurt, I've been hurt too. Are you learning anything? Have you both sat down and started to work through, do your shadow work together, bond as a couple, be the most powerful couple you can possibly be in a good way, and do good and help the community and the people around you and yourself. Obviously, help yourself first. Have you been doing that? Or do you just bond based off of trauma? So this is a real thing. A lot of people are slowly understanding things more. This is all available. The information is available. And I am not too concerned about divulging certain things on my channel because, one, I'm not afraid of death. I've been threatened and stuff like that, but it doesn't scare me. It can't be used against me. That is no longer a handle. I'm not in fear. And I realize that I can manifest what I need, and I'm abundant. I'm a part of the universe, which is abundant. There's more than enough to go around for everybody. And yes, the people that are pulling the strings, the ones that are very hurt, yes, I understand, guys. If you're watching this, I understand. You were probably tortured. And people took advantage of you, and they used handles against you. And you made your way to the top. But you didn't heal from certain things. And you're perpetuating this pain. And you're pushing it forward onto other people because you don't want to look at it. And I understand how difficult it is. It's been a struggle for myself doing this on my own with no help. Other than the spiritual aspect of it. And my own ancestors and energies that are helping me get through this. But it has been difficult. I understand it's hard. But continuing to do these things to other people, especially people that were not taught and are not awake or aware, they've been brainwashed to shit. Okay? Doing this and not learning the lessons, especially of your own stuff, is not going to help. It's just making this worse. So no more do you have to do that. You can take self-accountability. You don't have to be in shame. If you've done some heinous shit, on the other hand, yeah, you're going to have to be accountable for that. Own up to it. Stop whatever you're doing, especially if you're hurting other people, hurting children or something like that. Don't be doing that. That was never okay. If you believe that that's some sort of sacrifice that you have to do in order to gain anything, that's bullshit. I don't know who taught you that. I don't know who taught you that or where you got that information from, that we got to be sacrificing people in order to get to where we need to be, especially when it comes to connecting with our inner selves, our own inner child, and reaching the absolute top of whatever it is that you're trying to seek right now. But tearing other people down is not the answer. I know that when I speak truth, it's going to hurt people. But my intention behind it is not to harm them. Yes, things hurt when it comes to the truth, but I am not going out of my way to harm them. I want them to be better. I want you to do better for yourself. I want other people to grow to their fullest potential, especially spiritually, because that's what we're all aiming for right now, I think. The majority of us. It's not always easy to take a look at the dark side of things without rolling with that as the way it's gotta be in order to achieve anything. It's not true. And you don't have to be afraid of it. Your truth, when you say something to somebody and you are speaking your full, genuine truth to somebody, regardless of what it is, even if it may upset them somewhat, when you are speaking your full truth to them, they can't deny it. They may react a certain way, and you don't have to be afraid of the reaction either, but they can't deny that genuine truth. Get to the root of certain things, and when you speak your truth, the amount of weight that's going to lift up off of you, even if they're things that are really difficult to speak the words out, once you do it, it's so much easier after that, and you'll feel that weight lift off you, and you'll feel how actually fulfilling it is to be in your state of your genuine self, to speak the truth.